Here's the deal. This game is 3-on-3. Who you play? The local crew. This local crew, they haven't lost since 1996. They beat everyone who showed up. The guys are playing teams. We always win. Honestly, respect. The hecklers, the trash talkers, even the bruisers. Anyone, anytime. They will take them down. It's 100% true. Most of them.
Whose history is so intertwined with that of the World Cup that followed in Maradona, those great Brazilians of 1970. What's going to unfold, I wonder, this year? There's the VAR room, sure to play a big part, with Nicholas Gale in charge in there, with several assistants to help him as well. We've got Mark Clattenburg standing by in case of any controversy. Surely there won't be any. Not at the World Cup. But this could be good. Repeating the 2010 opening game as well. There's the Mexico lineup. Raul Hell, preferred to the World Cup legend Memo Ochoa in goal. The captain, Alvarez, is left out here. 17-year-old sensation Ivo Mora is on the bench today. Raul Jimenez in his fourth World Cup gets his first start, and he has his first goal as well. Gutierrez used to play for Chicago Fire in the lineup as well. He's been informed in the prep game South Africa. Well, the young Chicago Fire star Emma Kazeli gets a start here. Ron Williams, the goalkeeper for the last 12 years. Mark Wayne is the heartbeat of the team in midfield. And Lyle Foster, just relegated to the English Premier League with Burnley, will be expected to provide some goal threat. Big Ram Rangers are maybe slightly surprising selection in what looks quite an attacking line.
7 a.m. There were thousands and thousands of people outside waiting to get in. Mexico has been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Making history today as the first country ever to be host on 3 occasions. And this is the biggest stadium officially now of this World Cup, holding 80,800, just 200 more than the MetLife near New York, which will stage the final, of course, in mid-July. But there are going to be many, many turns and twists in the road before then. South Africa, they did qualify ahead of Nigeria. That's worth remembering here. Not many such wonderful scenes. Mexico being favoured, so is Raul Jimenez. There was been in the shadows of the World Cup really in the past. Keeps getting selected, never in the starting lineup until now. And he's just announced, or has been announced, he's moving back to his old club, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Mexico in green. To Mexico as we expected, except perhaps Reyes getting an on right back ahead of Sanchez. Mexico been in good form leading into this round, and yes, and then they played some decent opponents like Portugal and Ghana along the way.
Yeah, actually, part of that, they were in Portland, and there was a lot of dismay amongst the Mexican fans, the media. But they turned that around. Javier Aguirre's done a great job getting them confident and ready as we head into what will be the biggest moment in all of these players' career.
Suarez spreading the play to Vasquez, who plays in Italy for Genoa. It's an automatic pick for Mexico these days. And we went Profilo to the captain Alvarez. Alvarez is waiting to make his 100 degrees for Mexico. We'll have to wait a bit longer. What an atmosphere.
I've been here a number of times, Ian. I've never seen it like this.
Here's Reyes for the Mexicans. Alvarado looking to skip inside. Players in the South African lineup. That club played in the Club World Cup in the United States last year and did pretty well as well, beating the Asian champions. Also, they lost 4-3 to Borussia Dortmund, drew with a good Brazilian side, Fluminense. So, South Africa, I think, has to be respected.
You know, interestingly, when you contrast tackle, there are a few things besides the team you're playing against that are against you. One is the altitude, 2 is small, 3 the ground. South Africa, a lot of these players actually play in South Africa. And they play at altitude. They also been here for 10 days, so they're acclimated. That is not a big advantage. The other thing is South Africa actually like to have the ball. And they will do a good job of forcing Mexico out of their comfort zone. Mexico won't press. South Africa are okay having the ball and throwing it down a little bit better.
Inside the focus early on South Africa, where Mexico have the ball, go to 5 at the back.
Certainly a foul by Motivo there. These are dangerous situations. And South Africa conceded a number of goals lately on corner kicks and set pieces. Mexico in their last game against Serbia before the World Cup scored a couple goals on set pieces, so this will be a big part of the game tonight.
Quickly the left foot of Alvarado, but who's the alternative? And it was Reyes, who wasn't that good.
It's a bit ambitious, trying to shoot from there.
always so many lofty expectations surrounding Mexico. The best they've ever done is the 2 times they hosted the World Cup, 1970 and 1986. They got to the quarterfinals on both occasions. Jimenez. Jimenez gets Williams. First thing he's had to do, and now he can do it well.
Well, this all starts with Jimenez heading the ball wide, a good layoff, and then he follows into the box. And this is a fantastic save from Williams to parry that line.
Really good hit by Jimenez. That was some save, particularly as the first thing you have to do in the game. Mexico pressing again, looking a little disorganized at the back. And they haven't managed to clear that again either. Possibly they could look to work here. Williams doing his best, and maybe there's something, but they've got the last ball right there. Well, they didn't. Now Foster rather plucked his lines.
And here's the chance again. Watch Jimenez fall into the box. It's set up perfectly for him. He gets pretty good purchase on it. Not perfect, a little off the shin. But Williams does a fantastic job to push that line. And just a little warning sign there for Mexico. Be careful. South Africa on the break can be very dangerous. And they just got the last pass wrong, but it could have been a dangerous opportunity.
Yes, probably a bit. It would be understandable, sort of.
I'm sure he's played a lot of difficult environments, but nothing like this.
Fourth time in the World Cup for South Africa, yet to get beyond the group stage. Gigantes was recently one of the top scorers in the Saudi League with a last day hat-trick. Effectively, get the right pile of fans out in Mexico. I think the crowd wanted a corner there. One of the new regulations and interpretations will be that the VAR can take a look, and if an attacking corner is given wrongly, it can be turned into a corner kick.
Well, it should work the other way, because I believe that was a corner kick, and that would have been a massive advantage for Mexico, yeah.
This was Gallardo. He's a quality performer in that position. Third World Cup in charge of Mexico for Aguilar. And incidentally, he and his opposite number, Hugo, both played against each other in the 1986 World Cup. Sotelo was caught up there.
it up 1-0 to Mexico.
And the coach's decision to play Quiñones and not Dave one that side has paid off as well. Fantastic piece of work, by the way, by Eric Lira to win that ball off Sicole and set up the opportunity exactly the start Mexico wanted. What did South Africa do about that? They've been pretty much at 6s and 7s so far. Here's Jimenez again, but the referee's going to pull the play back. Mundial missed his challenge there.
Well, a little scrappy for South Africa, obviously, but there's a little cat and mouse going on here. South Africa do want to play, and Mexico, with all the energy and all the momentum from the crowd, have come out pressing. A couple times South Africa broke the pressure, and it's put Mexico on their heels. But again, one thing you can't do, which the tournament just did, is turn the ball over in their own end. Mexico feast off that. They're going to make them score the hard way. That was much too easy.
Hugo Boss, head coach, has been in charge for 5 years. He will retire after this championship. And I think it's fair to say that the South African side, the finals, they've not settled yet. Just have to watch the fans as Mexico have a great start for them. And don't forget the US opens its World Cup facing up against Paraguay tomorrow on Fox after they're showing at 6 p.m. Eastern, that's 3 p.m. Pacific. And I would imagine you know that the nation will be glued to that.
Absolutely.
John Strong is still holding on the goal. That US match.
I also think it's not too early to say South Africa have to be careful here. If you lose the game 1-0, you lose by a goal. It doesn't kill your hopes for the rest of the tournament, but you lose by 3, 4, 5. That can put you in a big hole, as goal differential could be a deciding factor as to which teams get through.
Another set piece to defend for the South Africans here. Jimenez was up for that one as well. Didn't quite get over to correct his header quality. He's used to it at the end for sure. President of FIFA, watching the left-hand side of the showpiece of the opening ceremony. Prince did the smack for that still. So very smart. To control that. They struggled in the build-up to this game, lost and drew with Panama at home, and then drew 0-0 with Nicaragua as well, and then a 1-1 draw behind closed doors with Jamaica. The coach wasn't really very amused with the way they played. So he will come into this with confidence not that high, and he's showing.
as we see a foul here against Hidalgo. And, you know, part of the challenge, Ian, is they've broken Mexico a few times as Mexico's come to press. But then they want to go fast and try to hit the killer pass. What they need is to get into Mexico's end, not send the ball, and there's a replay of the goal.
That's the referee's view of the red down. This is a high-tech World Cup. You know, there are even avatars of the players generated by AI.
I never heard that.
Yeah. South Africa needed to get through the first 20 minutes playing away from home in an atmosphere like this with a team of players who've never played in the World Cup before, none of them, but they conceded early, and really they did push the self-destruct button with that goal.
Yeah, and even across the world for the history of time, you say don't give them anything early. Let's make them earn it, and South Africa unfortunately gave Mexico a goal. And now they've got an uphill battle.
It's Motivo. Usually plays every minute in that midfield, a key player for them. He hasn't been able to get into it yet. Motivo. And the cross is easily cut out. And there's the first yellow card of this World Cup, and there can't really be too many complaints about it. It's Motivo who gets the yellow card.
Yeah, Mexico do a good job playing under pressure, and Hidalgo, good first touch, slides by Motivo. It's absolutely a yellow card.
South Africa nearly cost themselves qualification. They were deducted 3 points for playing Motivo when he was supposed to be banned against Lesotho. That got turned into a 3-0 defeat, but they made it to this World Cup anyway by the skill of their team on the last day. Motivo. And then Sandy places the cargo foul. Will be playing in the All-Star game. Motivo.
And again, that's what I was talking about, Ian. They do a good job to break the initial line of pressure. You don't have to go fast. Getting Mexico's in, make them defend a little bit. You can rest a little bit when you have the ball. It's just a little immaturity from South Africa.
I think they started off with looking for a sort of football equivalent of their hips when you get it going.
Well, you can't blame them, right? I mean, you come into this environment, you're playing the opening match of the World Cup. That's no matter what, a very good team. It's not easy. But they're not making it any easier on themselves.
South Korea and Czechia also in this group. They play in Guadalajara tonight with travel starting at 9 o'clock Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Czechia who have to come through the playoffs to make it battle hardened by that. Jackie Oakley and Warren Barton will be calling that match for you. It's going to be quite busy the next 5.5 weeks. There are quite a lot of games to be played. 72 in the group phase alone. 12 groups, top 2 go through, and the 8 best third places. Reyes to approval from the big Azteca crowd. I've been delighted with his Mexican start. Quiñones looking nice and sharp, fancy his chances. He's got a stack of goals in Saudi Arabia. Confidence high.
Well, the first touch is excellent, but he should have slid in Hidalgo there, who was running alongside that South African back line. Can't blame them for being a little selfish there after the first goal, but there could have been a big chance for Mexico.
There's Manuel Ochoa waiting to take part in what would be his 6th World Cup. That would also be true of Lionel Messi. Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo at this World Cup. But Ochoa in the past has been quite brilliant for Mexico on many occasions. Years old now, though. Mundial. Open. South Africa just trying to plot a pathway into this game somehow, and that's better. Mundial coming inside this track.
It was excellent again by South Africa, great pressure. But again, a link-up play after that. Got their lines crossed. Maybe they have forced the foul to stop the play.
With the heat and humidity expected, one of the new things at this World Cup will be a hydration break, and that will be coming up quite shortly. Again, getting the veterans to Cody again. Jimenez with a little left. Mexico with a nice rhythm about their run. Alvarado lost the cutting as we stepped over the time. The officials are trying to make this World Cup one where the dark arts are pounced upon, the ball is in play more often. All that's to be applauded. Let's see how it plays out.
Recording? I'm live all the time, but don't worry about it.
He's not going out. Gutierrez, the latest to find his way into the book. Incidentally, second yellow card will go to VAR. We just checked that the decision was spot on, so that someone isn't sent off mistakenly.
You get a deal with this every day.
Unfortunately.
Smile.
Hello, everybody. Just had a big day. I know you'll never be satisfied, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me at all. We just made a great settlement of the war with Iran, and we're going to be subject to finalization of documents, which should get done over the next few days. We'll probably have a sign.
This World Cup do not want is only the every skirmishing, which is somewhat hard. Football around the world in more recent times. But we got to the scored by
So in this first one, I'm not going to talk. We're having a watch party. Connection matters, it has to be AT&T. But for the All-Stars?
What does it take to be the greatest of all time? It's getting everything and everyone better. Here's to the greatest of all time.
Sí, algún radiador. Mal, no sería mal.
You think the U.S. is going to win the World Cup? Hey, you don't believe in miracles?
Igual viene en camino. ¿Cómo está?
Welcome back, the players have taken their 3 minutes water break in London, ready to begin of the 2026 World Cup at the famous Azteca Stadium in Mexico City. And Mexico co-host leading South Africa by goal to nil.
And yeah, we were just saying during the hydration break, outside of giving away the goal, South Africa have been terrible. They've limited the chances, but they've only completed 3 passes in the final third, compared to Mexico's 16. So if they get here and they can complete some passes, they'll create some chances. They're going to find out where they're going to go.
When it comes to people driving, they've got 12 players in this squad. They'll take them to this is a really fine atmosphere indeed for them. No doubt there are some favourites in the altitude of Mexico City. And as I understand you, some of them are training even higher than that up in Cuba. And there's a lot of awareness from Johannesburg, which is pretty high. So the altitude factor is not quite as good as it often is with the Mexicans. Good break for Delvin and some good work in the build-up there. Quinones with the lay back. Nunez again at a point. First half, crowned by that goal. So we've just got to be careful of a careless moment at the back, haven't we?
Yeah, it feels comfortable right now for Mexico, but I've seen it many times and been involved in many games, especially in World Cups, where one lapse of concentration and this game is 1-1.
Early inside to Quinones. Oh, that's nice work. Quinones here. It's good work. The important block by Sitone. Great from Mexico. Who in the past have often flattered to deceive at World Cups. 7 times in a row they went out of a round of 16 and were out of the group stage last time. A little bit unlucky because they got 4 points. Alvarado. Nicely worked. And then Reyes with a cross, which is too near to Roman Williams. Williams He was on Tottenham Hotspur's books as a kid. Made his career elsewhere. One of the many Mamelodi Sundown players in this squad. Vasquez with the header. Now Leon. Mexico top this group, they could in theory stay in Mexico City or in Mexico itself. Whether they're put in the quarterfinals. If everything went to form, they might play England here in the round of 16. But I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. Quite a lot ahead of ourselves. It's Motivo with a good-looking opportunity and not really taken because he's claiming there's a handball there.
I think he was offside as well. Yeah. Some the linesman put his flag out. Yeah, just off. They caught the Mexican fullbacks a couple times on either side with that kind of run, checking to it and then taking out behind. So Mexico do need to be a little careful as they're pressing and trying to get a lot of pressure on the ball. That ball behind can be dangerous.
This opening game, I repeat it for 2010 now. Well, it's Soccer City in the Soweto. When South Africa went ahead with a quite brilliant goal from Sabiyo Shabalala, who was the son of a Soweto taxi driver. And Rafa Marquez equalised for Mexico after 79 minutes. Marquez was picked to become the next coach after Aguirre. Williams. Otherwise, that could have easily been two.
And Williams did really well, but I thought Naomi was going to hit this first time. You see Jimenez behind the back line. Actually, I'd like to see one of the Mexican players run across the near post. Made it a little too easy for Williams.
Just at the feeling this goes on, don't you? The Mexicans might just need the comfort blanket of a second goal. Tonight, by the way, the premiere of the FIFA World Cup 2026 After Hours show with James Corden on Fox at midnight local time. Mexican possession.
He's better than when he's a line higher like he is right now. Let the three center backs and the wing backs build, and then he can receive it here and face forward. He has to turn it out, he does, but he's better when he's a line higher, so we get another number in the attack.
Hoping that Jimenez could do something with that one, but Ocon beats him in the air. Ocon is one of the few European-based players with South Africa, plays in the second tour in Germany with Canada.
It's a little too easy through the Mexican back line. Foster just sneaking in between the two center backs. There's that dive down by Williams to his left. Again, a runner across the near post freezes Williams and doesn't allow him to guess and get down so easily.
First time I learned that South Africa has failed to have a shot in the opening half hour of a World Cup game. We've still got time to do something about this scoreline. Can be a bit hit and miss on that right-hand side, but the coach likes him. Plays in Spain for Real Betis. Some of the ball just a little laboured from Mexico and the press. And the challenge on Leo means that possession is turned over. He wants a free kick for that. He's not getting it. Or is he?
Yeah, I think he is. The referee's blown the whistle late quite a few times here. This is really a needless challenge from South Africa. They had Deer under pressure after a poor first touch and could have got possession back.
It's so totally, isn't it, with the challenge? He does rather clatter into him. He did look a free kick, you're right, Alan. Sun's come out. It's like a cloudy, rainy morning when we arrived. And as Alan was telling you, it was about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and the place was absolutely packed with kick-off, 6, 7 hours away. Traffic jams. King from Mexico, here with the love, here he is again. Gutierrez plays it wide. Not quite built on that good start, have they?
No, you know what's happened a bit too is the field is drying out, but as the sun comes out, it gets harder and harder to cut faster. So it feels like the ball's been stuck a few times under players' speed and not traveling as fast. And that actually hurts the Mexican team.
This used to be a terrible surface in days of old, the Azteca. The one that Brazil won the World Cup in 1970 with Pelé and Tostão, Gerson, Jairzinho, Rivellina and the rest. Pretty bumpy. But what a performance they produced on it. Produce a half-time show on Fox. And he looked to spread the play. Mundial's header, not that convincing. And he's again! His first ever World Cup goal by the goalkeeper, Williams. He's done that twice in his first half to deny Jimenez.
And this is so difficult for a goalkeeper because if Jimenez does redirect it, you've got to be ready to dive to your right. But you've also got to predict that he doesn't touch it and be ready to dive left. And Williams does both very well.
That might have been a tech call for offside had he gone in, because Williams wasn't to know that. Brilliant work from a long-time number one. Now then, Gigantes again. And a shot to the crowd. He does. His block. He's come back out. And then the next one. He's come that close to 2-0. And he has been the big thorn in South Africa's side in this first half. Julian Quiñones.
Well, I was just about to say how good he's been. Turns inside, gets the initial shot. The layoff here, you thought it was going to hit the back of the net. You see from the referee cam here, just off the woodwork. And South Africa dodged a bullet.
Quiñones got 33 goals in 31 matches for Al Khadisiyah in Saudi Arabia. As I say, he was top goal scorer in the league with a hat-trick on the last day. And you've seen the kind of threat he can provide for Mexico here.
Every meaningful threat so far has come through him.
Reina's here. Ball just given away a little too easily in the forward area by South Africa as they do try to go. Fidalgo to pick it up in the middle of the pitch. Away by Ambokazi. Mundial is wide away back. We will get the corner late on in the half. It would be just like football if after the half we've had and the near misses for Mexico apart from the goal, if South Africa were to come up with an equaliser. That's a tale as old as time, hopefully. Back to Mokwena here. Across the small back, it's well defended by Mexico. A long-range effort from Ambokazi can hit them, but that was on the optimistic side from what, best part of 40 yards. Seven times Mexico have featured in the opening game of the World Cup. They've never won any of them. They're definitely on course at the moment to change that. fact, they won the very first World Cup match ever played back in 1930, losing 4-1 to France.
You called that game, didn't you?
Yeah. I was already 50 then. It's still human, it's getting behind. It's just a question, I think, of what Hugo Plus can say or do at half-time to maybe get South Africa into this game a bit more.
I'm actually quite curious here because, again, this World Cup is different, and we're going to hear this over and over. The 8 best third-place teams will advance to the knockout stage. So if you're South Africa, you don't have to go crazy trying to get a point out of it. Again, of course you want it. But it's much better losing 1 than 2 or 3 or 4-0. That could knock your hopes out there. So I'll be curious how aggressive they are in trying to get that second goal. We'll see that drop there the first round.
Nobody wants to lose the first game of the World Cup. It usually spells trouble. Did for Argentina 4 years ago, of course, when they lost to Saudi Arabia and ended up walking away with the trophy. There's exceptions to every rule. In 4 minutes of added time, we'll get a half. And then that's with the left foot by Apple. Took the back and shot, does, and didn't get hold of it. It was blocked anyway on the way through. And that only is 123rd cap today.
I'm also curious here if the Mexican fans are going to be content at 1-0. You hear a little bit of whistling when South Africa has the ball. They're certainly going to encourage their team to press and try to get the second and third.
Motivo taking Alvarado, tracked back. Ronaldo's defense here. Great kicking for decision. South Africa look a bit cheesed up about it. But I think it's right, isn't it, as well?
No. I think we're even now because there was one that should have gone Mexico's way earlier.
So they don't correct them if it's defensive.
I'm not sure why they did that.
Just attacking corners that can be wiped out, as it were, if it wasn't the corner in the first place. Does some good work, doesn't he, Raul Jimenez?
Yeah, there's so much.
A bit unlucky not to be on the score sheet.
Yeah, also there's so much value in a striker like that, because yes, he does all the scoring, but if South Africa press, the pressure is too here. Next will happen, and he's really good at holding the ball and getting out of play. Well, Alvarado, Gutierrez, on the second side, yeah. Quinones again. Just been so good, and you needed a little bit of composure. There are a number of things you could have done there. Drag it to your left, open your foot, and curl it inside the right post, roll it across the rail, Jimenez. But the one thing you can't do is let South Africa off the hook like that, and he knows it. Ogiera's not happy with that.
Yeah, he's seen it all in a very long coaching career. And then he will unfortunately coach, and he's definitely had Mexico moving the right way in more recent times. They've won 3 of the last 4 CONCACAF trophies available to them. And that after a rough spell where USA were having the upper hand. And that is half time. 1 goal and other chances to improve for South Africa. But the start of the half is Julian Quinones with the goal. Mexico leading South Africa by a goal to nil at half-time. Analysis coming right up for you.
FIFA World Cup 2026 on Fox is sponsored by Ferrero. Go all in and score big with our match day treats.
In honor of America's 250th, Jeep and Captain America are saluting real captains of America.
team, built for free, driven by heroes.
Raise a Rocher to the thrill of the game. The iconic taste of Ferrero Rocher, now in a square.
Buy any two Ferrero greens and you could win $1 million.
Early start here for Adams. Sensodyne, brilliant touch. Voltaire now with relief. And Tom's looking to counter-attack. It's Canal! Every goal starts with an assist.
This is quite a game. It'll be a free kick.
Joy and emotion overflows.
Things in life just belong together. Sundays and self-care. Every Mary needs its petty, so why choose between scent and softness? Dove Body Wash with 24-hour micro moisture gives you both.
New Balance, Viva Canal. There's watching Mexico, and then there's experiencing Mexico with Platinum. Make your trip one to remember with the largest curated global hotel program. And at fine hotels and resorts, complimentary third night offers. And guaranteed 4 p.m. late checkout. Because you deserve a little extra stylish time. For a life like no other, you need a car like no other. There's nothing like Platinum.
The FIFA World Cup 2026 halftime show on Fox is presented by Visa.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup is off and running. Mexico leading South Africa 1-0 at the break. The lone goal courtesy of Julian Quiñones, the third of his international career. Let's show you the reaction of Mexico fans in various watch parties everywhere from LA to Houston, and let's take you to Guadalajara as well. How about that? Those are the images that we are all here for. Rebecca Lowe, Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Alexi Lalas with you. We're here in Los Angeles Stadium. A little quieter here, but tomorrow it won't be. The US are going to play their opening game. Gentlemen, let's have a look, shall we, at the first half down there in Mexico City. Salma Hayek, president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino there with a trophy that is all about what happened. Thierry Henry.
The South African team trying to play out from the back. We're going to see here, obviously, William's going to set this one, but I didn't understand what they were trying to do, trying to play out from the back right from the start. I know you have an identity and your philosophy, and we see now the save of Williams, but they invited pressure too early, in my liking, with Mexico putting pressure, as we're going to see here, Zlatan.
Then you have a situation where receiving the ball there, you need to be 200% in control, because if you miss the ball there, you get a consequence like this. And this is 1-0, beautiful goal for Mexico.
Yeah, look, it's good to know that the romance of playing out of the back is alive and well at the 2026 World Cup. South Africa, they can't create chances, they can't keep possession, they can't stop turning the ball over, and I guess the good news is that it could have been worse, because there were plenty of opportunities for Mexico to make it 2 and 3-0.
So 1-0, and then here's the chance to hit the post.
Yeah, number one, the same guy, Quiñones, being outstanding. We all know what he's been doing in Saudi Arabia. He couldn't find the net here, but he's been outstanding in the first half for Mexico.
Yeah, just the one goal in it. Now the other two teams in Group A later on tonight in Guadalajara. Song Hyung-min set to lead South Korea against Czechia. Coverage of that one begins at 9 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Now the US in action, as I mentioned, tomorrow against Paraguay. The Americans counting on a big summer from Crystal Palace defender Chris Richards, and we're going to get you ready for that US opener when we come back.
The FIFA World Cup
Cup is back, America. And you know who always wins? Bandwagon fans, that's you. Howdy, partners. FIFA World Cup is here. Y'all in?
Soccer ain't really that thing.
I got barbecue legs. Yeah! Hey, Marshawn, hop on, buddy.
You know I'm more of a football dude.
You can call it that, too? Come on, man. I made you this.
Is that a leg?
A leg of legs. Yeah, looks good.
Hey, that's my legs like.
Get me back up! Jump on the bandwagon!
Do I look like a bandwagon fan?
Do you fancy salt and vinegar?
Why are you talking like that?
That's you! That's what you sound like! Come on! Who cares? Just pick another team!
Stay right.
Team and wrong side! If this ain't winning the FIFA World Cup, I don't know what is.
Please? Yes.
You should use the active cash Visa credit card from Wells Fargo.
Good call. How much to pay?
Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. That's scoring up to 2%. The active cash Visa credit card from Wells Fargo. Terms apply.
I think they gave me a yellow card.
Is David's backyard ready for the FIFA World Cup? Maybe he'll build it like Beckham, paint it like Patricia, flip it like Rich, plant it like Paige,
Or watch it all happen just like Josh.
Very happy to help.
The talk show soccer never saw coming. The other football, only on Tubi.
As Washington, D.C.'s premier host for conventions, sports, entertainment, and cultural events, having strong partners is essential. That's why we trust CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield as our partner. They provide exceptional health care coverage while standing with us in the community, giving back to the city we love. With a partner like CareFirst, our staff can bring the district's biggest moments to life.
The best new cars make the best used cars. So buy a Toyota certified used vehicle and find out just how far Toyota's reputation for legendary reliability can go. With protection from 2 factory-backed limited warranties, it's security, capability, and affordability. Only at your authorized Toyota dealer. Now get 4.99% financing on select certified used models. Toyota, let's go places.
Built for Monday,
James Kelly, you guys haven't heard this though?
born for Saturday. How it should be. The Hyundai Santa Fe. Get 1.99% APR or up to $3,500 customer cash on a Santa Fe or lease for $319 a month. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Mexico leads South Africa by a goal to nil thanks to Julian Quinones. Javier Guerrero's side are halfway towards picking up all 3 points in the opening match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I'm Jules Breach alongside Javier Hernandez and Peter Schmeichel here in Mexico City. When that goal went in, this place went wild. There was beer everywhere. Javier, how pleased are you with the start Mexico made?
Yeah, I was so pleased that the goal came before the 15-minute mark that we speak before the game. And as well, I want to point out that most of the goal is because Eric Luna. You know, apart that Citorne make a very bad decision turning around, the way that the holding midfielder from Mexico go and press the holding midfielder of South Africa was amazing. And then the composure of Quinones, like Thierry mentioned it, I think Quinones did a very good follow that really well done.
Looking ahead to the second half, Peter, what can South Africa do differently?
Well, the thing is, going 1-0 up so early in the game, I'm thinking 5-0. But then I think they've done really well, South Africa. And I think they need to believe a little bit more. They've had a couple of opportunities to counter. And they just, I mean, I hope the coach in the dressing room is telling them now, guys, there are opportunities here to counter this team. That's what they have to do.
Well, it will be absolutely massive if Mexico hold on to an opening victory here at the World Cup. Tomorrow, the United States will take centre stage. Christian Pulisic, Chris Richards and company are kicking off their campaign against Paraguay live on Fox. So here is a moment moment of the half, sponsored by Visa. You guessed it, it's the goal. Julian Quiñones, who was born in Colombia but chose to represent Mexico with the opening goal at this World Cup, and fans of the Azteca are pretty happy about that. His 9th-minute strike has them ahead of South Africa. And this was the reaction to the goal at Zocalo Square in Mexico City. Incredible, the second 45 minutes from the opening match of the World Cup. This is coming up next.
This isn't the best seat in the house. This is. It's where you can watch Abuelita unleash your wrath. Where they don't kick you out after the game ends. Where you can get a second round without missing a second of the game. And where even the most bitter endings are followed by happy hours. A seat that any beer would love to have. And only the cerveza for fútbol can. Modelo, the cerveza for fútbol.
We practice this. Stick to the clock. No impro, no theatrics. Just have the ball.
These players are doing whatever they want all the time. We need to control it.
I knew you, I didn't know your name. I don't think that's a good idea. Come on! 5 minutes. Going down the field. About 3. You had 1.
Man, can we leave?
Did you know salsa was invented when Puerto Ricans took Cuban rhythms to New York? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was born when the Japanese took judo to Brazil. When North African frying traditions met Spanish dough, Spain made the churro. After Jamaicans took their sound systems to the UK, the world got punk. And this is what the world gets when 48 nations meet to play one beautiful game.
Are you one of the millions surprised by rising prices? Well, AT&T just raised your rates. You have rights. Bring your phone to T-Mobile and they'll give you $400 when you switch. Plus, get T-Mobile's 5-year price guarantee on your experience plans. And I guarantee you won't look back.
You can make predictions on anything. Predictions? I'm the special one. I see things before they happen. This shot of crossbar. Midfield cross into heaven. You see him? On the way home, he will get caught in the rain, and then his girlfriend will leave him. But he keeps the ball.
Wednesday, July 15th, who will be the nation's dumbest?
Spell guarantee. G-A. How is G-U?
12 celebrities. That's cool. Nation's Dumbest premieres Wednesday, July 15th on Fox.
FIFA World Cup 2026 on Fox is presented by Blaze.
Let's have another look at it one more time. Julian Quiñones, after 9 minutes, the first goal of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It put Mexico a goal up against South Africa. Great start for Mexico, and these are live shots coming to you from Mexico City Stadium. Thierry, Zlatan, Alexi were watching on that first half, and you were getting more angry, Thierry. They're playing out in the back.
No, especially early doors when South Africa trying to they play the end of Mexico. The first 5-10 minutes, keep it quiet, play it long, and see where you can play on the other side, on the opposition side of the field, and they invite the pressure from Mexico. But be careful, Mexico, because if you don't make it 2-0, if it stays like that, watch out.
Well, Zlatan, they'll be disappointed, Zlatan, won't they? Mexico, they're not 2-0 up.
I mean, they had great chances in the first half. Probably they get some more chances now because I don't see South Africa changing their game plan from building up from behind. you should also succeed with that, change the game a little bit, like Thierry said, like put the longer ball until you feel your opponent, but they were stubborn with the right gameplay, and that's it.
I think more from the chat, so full-time stay with us. Until then, it's back to the very capable hands of Landon Donovan alongside Ian Dark.
Thank you very much indeed, Rebecca. Some very interesting half-time chat, and I think the guys got it right. Looking at the way that the match is just set up, how are you seeing it from here, Landon?
I'm curious now, I said it before the break, how South Africa approach this psychologically. Do they go after it, or are they, it's weird to say, I know, but are they content to stay 1-0 and maybe sneak a goal somewhere? But from Mexico's standpoint, it's less about, honestly, what the players want in. Will this crowd allow them to just take their foot off the pedal? I don't think so.
We shall see. Mexico have only lost 1 of 11 World Cup games when they led at half-time. That was back in 1978 against Tunisia. Nearly brought out there. Hidalgo here. Got an opportunity. He gets it right. Mira wanted that, and he was in space. If that had been pulled back to him. Oh, no. Howitzer from Gutierrez.
What are South Africa doing? You're a minute into the half. And boy, did they get lucky. Multiple chances here for Mexico. This one just taken a little too early from Gutierrez. I have no idea what Williams is doing there. After a phenomenal first half, he nearly ended the game there.
As the ref cam, you can see how fast the game is. It's good to just see the odd little cameo from that particular camera. You get an idea of how quick the decision making has to be at this exalted level of the game. Hidalgo again is a bit of a pass picker in the midfield, and I think every team needs one of those.
God, that was a big chance in for Mexico to go 2-0 up, and probably should have done a little better.
Lira had done really well coming from his defensive midfield position. He was waiting in space, and the ball just wasn't pulled back to him, so that was a really big opportunity for Mexico to give themselves some clear water. Just to check on the teams. Going through there were no changes that we could see at half-time. What a sight that is for the players to be playing in an arena like this. It opened in 1966. With a game against Tottenham Hotspur. Quinones is not on again here. He's seen the goalkeeper off his line and trying his luck. That's how big his confidence is at the moment.
Oh, he is loving it right now. Danced through a few South African players. Ambitious, yes, but I can't blame him right now.
Every World Cup you get a few breakout stars. Players nobody was talking about beforehand, that everybody's talking about a couple of weeks in. And she's one of the many attractive propositions as Alvarado latches onto the ball here for Mexico. I think the problem for South Africa is they just look a little porous at the back. And they're making mistakes. They deep in the goal. Really this one again. Foster dispossessed. And looking for a moment of inspiration from somebody.
This game has opened up quite a bit to start the second half. I was not expecting to see that. Mexico might just put their foot on the ball a little bit here and calm down.
Don't forget the United States and start their campaign tomorrow against Canal. I'll give you all the details of that.
The only question here is going to be if he was onside or not. At first glance, it was very tight. But it looks like Satole is going to be shown the door.
It will be looked at, of course, by VAR. Maybe we can call Mark Clattenburg, our refereeing expert, in here. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, of course the VAR needs to check the offside initially, but it looks like it was onside. I think the defender actually cleared him on. And now the question is, was it inside or outside? The referee was in a good position. He clearly seen that the contact was outside. And once he gets it outside, it's not a genuine attempt to clear the ball. And therefore, because it's outside, it will always be given as a red card for denying an obvious scored opportunity.
Yeah, look like that. I don't see that being reversed. Look at that.
There's a rugby tackle.
Yaya Sutole, your famous name, Yaya Toure. But it looks like his World Cup debut is not hanging a red card here. It's just all being checked.
Good job by South Africa, by the way. Keep their wall tight. Two blockers did their job. And now it gets really interesting. Mexico are going to have all the possession the rest of the way. South Africa, again, to be holding on for dear life.
They're going back from where it's here anyway.
I've learned.
School of London, Donovan. Two countries separated by the same language. Gutierrez again, he's pretty bright, isn't he? Mundial got a good challenge at that time. The mountain just got a heck of a lot steeper for South Africa. Mathematics in these groups, 12 groups, top 2 through, 8 best places, you still could make it as long as you don't take a hammering in the first game. So maybe damage limitation might be part of South Africa's ploy from this point, but we shall see.
They're certainly downplaying now. They have to think about that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Hugo Broos makes some sort of substitution quickly here.
You need to. That was the third South African red card in various World Cup campaigns.
This feels like a game now for Hudette tomorrow to come into. A great way to introduce the 17-year-old other man. Not a lot of pressure, can go be creative and make plays, which they're going to need to do at South Africa sitting now.
Never talk about Hudette over he's really good in the World Cup last summer, a breakout star. I think he's been carrying a little bit of injury, not much of one, so I'm told. He's a real talent. Not really to start this game, but he still might have a pretty big part to play at this World Cup. Kind of hope so.
Yeah, a lot of times when you go up a player, up a man, a lot of coaches decide to just keep things as is. I was always of the opinion you need to make changes too, because the game is completely different now. Of course, South Africa will be thinking about that defensively, but from an attacking standpoint, Mexico should too. No weakness
and South Africa on the attack, which has been something of a rarity in the game so far. Is the leader, who wants to run forward from left back usually, but there have been a few chances to do that, and it isn't maybe less than very few goals, although it should be said they do look a pretty well organised outfit, which is handy, always, but there is no leader. Even handling from young Harrow did make you kind of wonder for a moment. I'd like to hear from Peter Schmeichel on this. My goalkeeper Tim Howard used to say too, the ball's moving like that and at altitude, it gets there a lot faster. And it's challenging and it's certainly tested on Harrow. This guy, the QR code on the screen, to go for the Michelin Ultra Superior player of the match. I think I know who the leading contender might be so far. It's pretty obvious, but yeah. Why was it? She needed the viewers out. Doing it on. But here is a change. Midfield back and back down. So come on. Yeah, again, that was predictable. And then, again, if I'm Javier Aguirre, don't be too conservative here. We're trying to get the second, third goals over here. And because he missed out by his Jimenez. Jimenez was able to freshen up a good deal for this World Cup because he wasn't in the full team that often on the run into the season. It's an excellent thing to put together since about May the 6th, I understand. A very long camp indeed. None of the players were allowed to play in the playoffs at the end of the season. They were told if they did, they wouldn't be in the World Cup squad. So Mexico are taking this very seriously. As they should, of course.
Yeah, obviously it's difficult for the clubs, right? And they hate it, but you have to take a big picture view of this. This is a massive opportunity, as it is for the U.S. and Canada, to show really well on home soil.
Pushing and shoving ahead of these set pieces. It's picked on by Reynolds and well defended that time by Ocon. The fact of the matter is so far though, London, South Africa have never seriously got into this contest. By the way, the white dashes you can see under the scoreline there are how many substitutes the two teams have left. Mexico, all 5. South Africa, 4. Just see it under the names. It's going to look quite high. I think in this World Cup for the first time there will be a round of 32, so a treat of knockout football in the later stages to look forward to. You and I were looking at it earlier, Landon. If Mexico can escape in this group, and USA are second in their group, they play each other. So that's up. Yeah. 2A, B, 2B. It's written in the round of 32, but of course both teams are hoping to drop their group. And Mexico need the right kind of start. Still looking for that second goal here. Quinones with a deep ball. See what the idea was.
Yeah, you can see the development to Alvarado with a good late run. Again, patience will help Mexico just pull South Africa apart, and
just got away from Canal's a little bit. Talking in the USA, and getting against Paraguay, which has been spoken about for so long now. That's live tomorrow on Fox with coverage showing at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. on the West Coast Pacific Time. Think they'll win, Andy? I do think they'll win. I was at the final friendly against Germany on Saturday. I know they lost. I was encouraged, and I see what the crowd here is doing for this Mexico team, and I expect the same tomorrow night for our U.S. team. I'm looking forward to that game. I think if the USA do win, that might spread a little bit of football further around the nation. You think so? Absolutely, yeah. That should happen. I remember when you scored that goal in 2010. After that, there were stories of people getting off work early in Wall Street to go around and watch the matches. I apologise to the bosses. See you later, buddy. Substitution here, the experience playing with Zwane, and it's going to be introduced in the place of Jake Mullins, who's another honest, really got into the line. Zwane is an old campaigner, Manalo's centre player, wrote his 56 cap here today. When he's ready to be fit, and a player who can influence the game, so I think he's been brought up with the idea of getting possession further forward and making something happen. See if he can. 36 now. Let's be honest here, I'm a bit disappointed with the way Mexico have approached this since the red card. It's a little too casual. They feel like the game's already going to be, but all it takes is one moment, and I'd like to see them go get the second and third goal. And you can hear it a bit from the crowd too. They're not happy about this. And we're 1-0. This will go for the challenge on Mundial. Guillermo's pleads his innocence. Stares quite high in light touch, but certainly a foul. Nothing to make a big drama like that, really, and nobody is trying in fairness. Mexico scored a great goal against Saudi Arabia at the last World Cup. The opening line says, not great, here we go, it's up. Not great out in the middle of the pitch. They didn't hope South Africa here. Has the time to cross, but it's really close to the problem for them. Half-hearted penalty it was. Usually the streets are pretty packed with traffic around Mexico City. I would say at the moment they are deserted. Everybody is hooked on this game, and that, I think, delightfully is one of the great things about the World Cup. And all 48 nations, they're come to a standstill when their teams are playing. And I would say, you know, all those people watching are not happy right now. I'm not hearing blue screen cry. Yeah, look at it. And you can watch this up can happen sometimes with this one of the second perhaps just after halftime. I was saying, when the crowd allowed them to I've said that. You never know what can happen, and goal differential matters in all minutes. Getting up a player at home in 45 minutes here, it has to be better than this. And just a feeling that rather sitting on the lead at the moment. Lost the ball, it's a few times, Gutierrez, clever little ball to Canal, come back as the inverted fullback there from left back, coming from the inside left channel. Modern coaches love that tactic. .65 gone, Mexico 1, South Africa 0. Two more changes, Luis Chavez, I mentioned to you. And also, Gilberto Mora. This is what the crowd wanted to see. The 17-year-old who is the youngest player on this World Cup. I think he come on and liven up Mexico a little more. Yeah, that's what should happen and would happen. It's a perfect type of game for him. He's a player who could give Mexico a little the X factor they might need if they want to go deep in this World Cup. Here's Lira. He's going to be different. Good for Edson Alvarez to get back in the side. Lira seems to have taken over that role. Jimenez does what his Canal again. Alvarado's crossing. This is the player whose life was in danger after he fractured his skull playing for Wolves against Arsenal a few years ago. He's come back from that. Here he is starting for the first time in the World Cup and scoring as well. And that leads to the hydration break. Power TV power. How could you not love this game? Mexico are on their way in this World Cup, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. It all started when I got to the FIFA World Cup, and wow, thousands of Verizon tickets. Hey, free Verizon tickets too? No, with amazing seats. I'm sorry. Okay, I need inside access.
David Beckham, Verizon customer.
This used to be the plan. Now it's the Verizon distance. No one gets you closer than Verizon.
What would you like to power to do? Your passion for this game opens opportunities. For them? For our local businesses? For the community? Because our local businesses thrive, the community also thrives. Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? Okay, go.
We're going to a game. 3-on-3. No referee, no rules. 3 rules. Exactly. Who do you play? A local club. This local club they've been watching since 1996. That's when people say started. They beat everyone who showed up. Kids, bigger kids, the Tuckers, even the Blazers. Anyone, anytime. 3 great points. Keep their power. But this club took them down. Everybody knows. J'ai entendu dire que c'était des sortes de magie. It's all true. Who's up next?
Welcome back, South Africa. Do you know that is the danger here is turning into damaging defence. That happens straight out by power for you. 20 minutes remaining, and South Africa down to 20 players after the red card for Yaya Sitole. That's another thing. At this World Cup, they've got a wristband on of the referee's assistants, and it will vibrate those offside if players even 10 centimetres offside. So that will stop the delayed flags in theory. Must be happy, mustn't he? Have it at year 8, 67 years of age now. Said a lot of good things at his press conference yesterday. These players have a chance to really work themselves into football folklore. Jimenez has got another opportunity. Just there for him. He was right from the scene, to be fair, and made an instant decision. Jimenez stays down.
And this is a tough one. Jimenez does a good job to keep himself on side. I don't think they can give a penalty for this. Certainly a lot of contact from Sidisi. He goes with his shoulder, that's going to be legal. Doesn't feel good though.
Let's call him Mark down. What did you think, Mark?
Yeah, it looks like the defender's going to go in with his shoulder, and I think the attacker then turns his body to make it look like it's shoulder to body. But I think there's 2 players committed to the ball, and I think it was correct not to recommend any other decision other than the referee's decision.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Secretary Unity penalty awarded.
Hi guys, welcome back.
The yellow card awarded for Savisi this time. He's much involved in the action.
And figured he got away with the last one a little bit. At least earning a yellow card if you're going to do it. And the frustration starting to show now for South Africa. They need to be careful and set it over and over, but cannot let this get away from you.
There was a high elbow that the referee didn't like there. Mexico to rub salt in the wounds here. Pushing the ball around with sudden confidence. Gigantes. Broken up by Oakland. Again, they give the ball away. A little trouble for Inaugural, that was. We need a lot more free kick for South Africa. Later tonight, it is through on Fox Sport 1. South Korea and Czechia facing off in Guadalajara. Coverage starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1. Two more changes coming up for South Africa. The winning Oswin Apollos is one of those to be introduced, and evidence Makopa, who did score in the Afghan Championships. Too late against Cameroon. And Gonzalo Alvarez, the captain's win his 100th cap. I can't smell that this as well. Giving a big round of applause. Like switch, and Jimenez makes way to Rangers off and Oliva off. And that goes for those two South African substitutes. So the back lines underneath the scoreline denoting how many substitutes are left for the coaches, and it's a brilliant amount now, of course. But this is the perfect start for Mexico in well, sacred home of the Azteca. They've only ever lost 2 competitive games here. And you know how tough it is to play here, Brandon.
When they're playing well, in the altitude, and you're chasing the ball, and the crowd's behind, it just feels like a battle you can't win, and you see that in South Africa today. They had some moments of optimism, but in the end, the quality came through from Mexico. And now the question is, how bad will it get for South Africa, and how good will it get for Mexico?
And with a win here, they'll feel they already have 1 foot in the knockout rounds. It's a big round of applause. He still scored with his leg along in the post as well. And it's his third now. He's up close to the start on the left-hand side. Comes up with a closer.
Well, it's pretty clear now who's going to start then. Gigantes, you're the best player in that field today. And as you said earlier, Mexico continue like this, and he continues like this. He could be one of the breakout stars of this tournament.
He's not playing that. Great high press is going on. It's a very young people like that. But this time the referee pulls it back. Good work by Mora. It was a bit disappointed. And the referee blew his whistle there.
That's a really poor call.
Yeah. What a delay. There's that press again. And then now the three South African players are not that good playing out from the back. started all of that, didn't we? Teams playing out from the back, so around the world trying to copy it. Not every team's got the players to pull it off.
Well, that's the problem here, is very few can do it at that level. And South Africa put themselves in a hole early, and nearly at the beginning of the second half, made the hole even deeper.
There's a Hollis. Coming on to his right foot, goes decent shot, right? Makes an immediate impact. A lot of people thought he might make the starting line, he didn't.
Well, there are two problems here. Alvarado down. And I think it might be Vega also, who stretched to block that. There you saw Alvarado didn't run easy against Botswana. I think the big issue right now is Vega, who just came on the field.
It's not his own head. Maybe obviously the players injured in the World Cup. There's such a pinnacle of the players here. It's heartbreaking for those guys who miss out with an injury and training just before the championships, which unfortunately does happen.
Apologies, I don't know, that wasn't Vega, it may have been Reyes. Either way, that's it. Both are okay.
Gonzalez. As for Chivas. Look and we get next. Last 10 minutes here. Referee coming across to just check on something here.
They do it, yeah, it was the play here against Reyes, and that's why he was down. Or not Reyes, sorry, Alvarado. Or a little bit of a left hand there to the face.
This could get worse for South Africa.
Yeah.
There, off the ball. One, I think it is.
Yeah, I think he might get set up there.
Let's bring it back to on this.
Yeah, what the referee has to look at is the act violent and malicious? Because what you do see is the arm is fist is clenched as it goes past his opponent, and then he makes a secondary resolve towards his opponent's fist. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a violent act and a red card to be issued.
Consultations taking place, and we're going to get the referee's decision straight away. This could get a lot worse for South Africa. Just 9 players, a 9-day day for them at the ESTADOS. Well, you heard Mark Clattenburg's interpretation of what he saw there. And Suarez, the veteran playmaker, has to go.
I do, you could see the intent as he swam by Alvarado, just gives him that last slap really in the face, and just can't get away with that anymore. Cameras everywhere, had to be smarter than that.
And then they went on. Tonight, the premiere of World Cup 2026 after hours with James Corden on Fox at midnight local. There you go. So this is challenge. Nothing wrong with that. Looked like David was kind of looking for it, to be honest with you. closing stages here of the opening game. There are always talking points, and the two red crowds will be two of the biggest here. Not much doubt about the first one. The second one, probably a little bit more arguable. And with Young, he's given the referee a decision to make with that.
And this has all been self-inflicted by South Africa. The first goal given away to the two red cards. Falling asleep on the first red card and having to drop down a player.
They're going to have to regroup quickly because they're a big hole now. And they absolutely need something now for the second match. Second game for them against Churchill in Atlanta. And on the 18th. Mexico has South Korea and Guadalajara next. Good break between the fixtures for the players to refresh, refocus. Mexico's mood will only brighten. And they keep 9 games unbeaten now in all competitions. But forget the friendlies, this is the one that matters. Vasquez, a bit of an armchair ride back there for those defenders today. Now that's his favour. Gallardo for the inside. Miller, one of the space. They want him to get it down. The 17-year-old, he can sense it every time he gets the ball. Already a big favourite of the Mexican fans. There's no way of wrapping this up. South Africa have been poor today, London.
Yeah, they have it. It was unlike of their form coming into the game. You see here, yeah, you can see the left arm there. It's one hand. It's been reminiscent of their form coming into the tournament. And they've had some moments where they could have taken advantage of the Mexican defense. And yeah, as you said, they've just been too poor.
The other teams in this group will see South Africa now as a chance to clock 3 points. And of course, those two players who've got the red card will be suspended for the next game. This doesn't help. Mexico can just break equal really here now. Okay now after that. Amanda Gonzalez stayed down. But he's got a free kick. It's going the other way. Even before the game, and I might be reading too much into this, I was watching South Africa warm up, and they looked a bit fun during that as well. Not like a team about to play an exciting game like the World Cup. And I think that has been reflected in the performance here.
Yeah, I said early on in the game, their body language was poor as well. The ball would turn over, a bad pass, and players were quite disappointed, throwing their arms up, and they don't look like a good collective team right now.
It's Alvarez. He's the header. He's the captain of the team, even though he was left out of the 11. There's no sentiment when it comes to selection. And coach picks the 11 players he thinks can do the job, and you have to say he got that right. away. Raul Jimenez with his goal moved equal in the all-time Mexican scoring list with Jared Borghetti, who scored at the World Cup himself. Level on 46 goals, and of course Chicharito, who's with us today, good to see him, still leads the way. He'll be a happy guy today, Ian. 52 for him. So popular around here, he needs a disguise, I think. Luis Chavez. Mexico, likewise, their huge support here. Well, it's been a sea of green, the Azteca. Correction, the whole city's been a sea of green. Gonzalez lays it back. Against 9 men here, they can just keep passing the football. Always somebody free. Piece of cake. There you go. I'm going to get in on the scoring. It's a World Cup goal, it's a World Cup goal after all. Mundial here, needs a bit of support. Taken out with that Montez, and that's got to be a card. What are they protesting about, the Mexican players? There's absolutely no case at all.
Although I did see the referee go to his back pocket initially. Oh, yeah. That's what they were protesting.
Cesar Montez, red card. Let's bring Mark in again on that. What did you see there, Mark?
First of all, what it has to be is it has to be a goal scoring opportunity. And what three elements that the referee's looking at is the position of the ball. Does the attacker have control over the ball? Yes, he does. Is the ball going towards the goal? There could be a slight doubt because it does change slightly direction. But when you look at the replay again, that attacker can easily get onto the ball and be one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And there's no cover defender. So I can understand why the referees did that. And it's split opinions because the ball does slightly change direction. But I believe that this attacker could easily have got onto the end of that ball and have a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So I believe that the referee was right to commission for the card.
You think it was a clear scoring opportunity, Mark?
Does the attacker control the ball? Is it covering the defenders? And the way the angle of the ball changes direction. But the angle of the ball doesn't change that much to make the ball. That attack, it's really easy to get onto the ball and have a long chance of the ball.
That's a great time.
I gotta say, I have a good friend in Canal who's one of the goalkeepers and always protects the half field a bit. That's a harsh strike. I can't see that coming very well.
He's got a potential different. He's got a different.
Well, look, he knows the image you got. He's the best. He's right at the top level. I say, I play a lot of games. I've never seen that. I'm not really he knows what he's doing.
That very definitely wasn't a scoring opportunity because they left up a free kick. Well, who'd have thought it? Is that an indication the referees are certainly not going to be shy and probably fairly hard line in their approach to things at this World Cup? We'll see.
Well, this referee, the Brazilian referee is known for being pretty strict. And so you got to know that coming into the game as well. But again, I just feel that's harsh. That did not look like a red card to me.
Is Matt Gopa for South Africa upon his men not going out? After everything that's happened, South Africa might almost take 2-0 and hope they can repair the damage somewhere else. Playing 9 players. Mexico 3, I think second for this scoreline. Looks like that anyway, unless they give them another one in what is it, 7 minutes at a time.
There might be a bit more on that too.
The first opening match ever at the World Cup with 3 red cards. I'm unsurprised to learn that. Easy. Putting his heart in his mouth after challenging the players earlier on. I think they got that wrong in waving away the penalty appeal. So that's Montes out of the next game. For Mexico, they might give a chance for Alvarez to come into the starting line. Maybe he's at the back. Yeah. Do that occasionally. Clock ticks around 96th minute. We're nearly done here. The World Cup is up and underway. Make no mistake, there will be shots along the way. There always are. Hey, there were shots in the qualifying tournament. Italy aren't here again. Chase this down. He's got Gonzalez waiting in the middle for a cross. One of the highest quality cross. And here's Apolis for South Africa. The game very stretched now. Mundial. Thought he was taken out. Referee let that go. Still down. And in pain. It's a long way back from where South Africa are right now in this World Cup.
Well, I guess we'll find out, Ian, right? You were discussing this earlier. Can 3 points get you through as a third-place team, potentially? Certainly 4 you think would do it, but you never know.
The referee's playing for time. Again with 3 red cards for pushing 2 goals for Mexico to get them up to a winning start. The first time they've ever won a World Cup opener. Quinones and then Jimenez. 3 points Mexico, none, and a heap of trouble for South Africa. Let's get it back to Rebecca Lowe in Los Angeles.
That's right, Susan. It is very hot out here. And the game just...
Thanks to Ian Dark and to Landon Donovan. The Group A standings then. What a start for Mexico. Top of Group A, of course. 3 points on the board, 2 goals scored. South Africa starting their campaign off with a defeat. It can take you back onto the field in Mexico. What a way to start. The first time, by the way, in 20 years the team has had 3 red cards in a World Cup match. Lost the World Cup in 2006. So let's see how it starts. As expected from Mexico in the end.
Whether they've got 11 men, 10 men, or 9 men, just
second goal, and that really moved you right here.
Well, because first and foremost, I remember the incident with David Luiz at the Emirates. I'm sure you remember when everyone thought that his career was over. He came back, but I'm sure while he was celebrating his goal, he must have been thinking of his dad. His dad, because I looked at him and he was looking at the boxes and the box, and maybe he must have realized that his dad wasn't sitting there to see, to witness him scoring at the World Cup yesterday, which I think really proud. And so I think it's the audience, we're talking about emotion. We already have a massive emotional moment in this tournament. So.
Was just 62 when he died just 3 months ago. The son of struggled with that, of course, running in he was struggling with that as well.
Some of that pressure and the nerves. You got the first one done. Now you kick on from there.
Okay, gentlemen, while Raul Jimenez is amongst the scorers today, it's the 46th of his international career. He is now just 6 behind Fernandez for the Mexico record. Tomorrow the US will take centre stage. The Americans kicking off their campaign against Canal. We're going to get you ready for that one. Plus more reaction to Mexico's win when we come back.
Frogs are eating meat.
He's a machine. This is why I'm a Walmart Plus member. Groceries delivered for me today.
You guys see what I'm saying?